Hey guys, EMP5 Reviews here. Today I've got my second Canadian IMP ever, and this is a much older one than the last one I had. This is a 2015 Menu 16 beef pot roast with mushroom sauce. Very curious to see what this is going to be like. I've seen a bunch of videos of IMPs. I have only had one before this, which was Beans and Frank's, I think. So I'm curious to see what beef pot roast looks like. Plus, this is 2015. This is almost a 8-year-old MRE at this point. And I might not need to open it with a knife, so let's see if I can open it without completely butchering the bag. I like to save these bags and put them on my classroom wall. So let's see if I'll be able to do that with this one. I might be able to, I might not. Trying to not completely destroy it, and so far it's not going well. Come on. One side opened better than the other. Yeah, I might just have to bite the bullet and rip it apart. Come on. I don't think these open in a way that they make them salvageable very easily. There we go. As long as I can get in there and salvage some of the brown bag part of it, I'll be happy. Alright, there we go. Okay, first thing right off the bat, I always love how the Canadian MREs have these, or IMPs, a Kit Kat Chunky. Interesting. Let me see if I can find a date on this or not. Not that I can find easily, but Kit Kat Chunky. Then we've got the main, which is the beef pot roast with mushroom sauce. Sounds good. Looking forward to that. Ooh, got something in there. The Pain hamburger, or the hamburger bun. Beverage bag. Sour cream and chives mashed potatoes. Interesting. Never was the biggest fan of the mashed potatoes in US MREs, but that's just because no matter what I did, I could never get them hot enough to enjoy, at least for myself. Espresso roast coffee. Interesting. Okay. Then we've got lemon sports drink, which there should be a second one because all the videos usually have two. Some sugar. Some whitener or creamer, peanut butter. It's much smaller peanut butter than the ones in the US MREs. What do we got here? This side is really thin. What is this side here? Applesauce. Okay, how big is this? 140 milliliters. Much simpler amount of ingredients than the US. Applesauce, apple sugar, water, ascorbic acid, sugar, and more ascorbic acid. Alright, let's see what else we got in here. The napkin, which literally just feels like they shoved some extra paper towels in there. A very long spoon. Some chewing gum. And I still got some more in there. There's not an accessory pack in this one. It's not all contained together. They're just all in here kind of as loose components. Then I've got some Frank's Red Hot and a little ketchup packet. A moist towelette. Where'd it go? Yeah, moist towelette. This must be before they had the little expanding paper towels. And a white book of matches with a red tip. Alright. So that's the unboxing portion. I will see you guys back when this meal is ready to go. Okay guys. Got my meal laid out. What is it? Again, it's the beef pot roast with mushroom sauce. Kind of had to jury rig it a little more than normal because I'm staying at a hotel. I don't have my tray. Which is why I got bowls and cups and stuff like that. Made the beef pot roast, heated it up in a bag or in a pot of boiling water in my coffee pot for the hotel room, poured it out. There's not that much sauce. Maybe I boiled some of it off, or maybe it's just because it's, 8 years old. But it doesn't look too bad. It looks better than I thought it would. I've got the mashed potatoes cooked in the bag. I'm going to take a bite of the potatoes separate, and then I'm going to just put them in the same bowl as the beef pot roast. I got the hamburger bun out. I tried peeling it apart, but kind of stuck together. There was a very distinct bread smell. Not that it's bad, but just like when I opened the bread pouch, the whole room started smelling of bread. I'm not going to have the coffee, cream, or sugar because I've already had like 3 cups today, so we're going to stick that off to the side with all the accessory stuff. I've got the applesauce in a cup because there's only 2 bowls in this hotel room, so there it is. And I got the lemon lime drink powder. So, first things first, I'm going to take a bite of the mashed potatoes, and hopefully I got it mixed up enough so I don't have a big bite of instant mashed potato powder. And this is with sour cream and chives. I think it might have garlic in it too. I can't remember exactly. But there's the mashed potatoes. Just powdered mashed potatoes like most MREs. That's actually pretty good considering. Alright, not bad. Let me take one bite of this without any mashed potatoes mixed in. And let's see. When you consider this is 8 years old, it looks pretty good. So, big old chunk of beef pot roast and whoop, focus, and a mushroom. Looks pretty good, so let's see how it is. That's good. Mushrooms taste fine. The beef pot roast tastes okay. It's not super salty, honestly. I expected it to be, considering the pouch and all that stuff, but it's not crazy salty compared to most beef pot roasts I've had. So overall, pretty good. Like I said, I think I boiled off a bunch of the sauce, so it's not super moist, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, overall, that's pretty good. All right, I'm going to try and get some of the mashed potatoes out of this. It might be a giant mess, but let's see. There's a lot more mashed potatoes shoved in that bag than I thought there'd be. Come on. Definitely still some chunks. Hang on. Let me try and get the rest of these mashed potatoes out so I don't waste it. I've been looking forward to this all day, actually. And it's really quite interesting how well this MRE held up, considering its age, at least so far. I half expected the bread to be bad. Granted, I haven't tasted it yet, but it looked fine. Get as much of the mashed potatoes out of this bag as I can. Don't want to waste it, because I'm hungry and I got to work out later tonight. Alright, I think I got most of that. There's a tiny bit left on the outsides. Alright. The one thing I don't understand about this menu, and about most Canadian menus actually that I've tried or I've seen, is they don't have an FRH or anything like that. Like the bag of the beef pot roast literally said, like, place into boiling water and boil for 5 minutes and da-da-da-da-da, which most of the time when you're out in the field in the military or out on a deployment, you don't have access to just clean, fresh, readily available boiling water. So I find it kind of interesting that there's not an FRH in the IMPs. Maybe someone can enlighten me as to why that is, but who knows. So now let's try... Do I want to put the Frank's Red Hot? I might as well. It doesn't need it in there. Food tastes fine as it is, but I don't like wasting stuff. I probably won't use the entire pouch, just because I'm not that big of a hot sauce fan. But, yeah, this Red Hot is a little waterier. More watery. Might as well use the whole thing. That's the first thing that looks like it's aged, or maybe it's just not mixed up well. But there's the Red Hot. Mix that all together. Not the most appetizing looking meal now that it's all mixed together, but it tastes much better than it looks. So, let's get a bite of all this stuff. Yeah, it really looks gross now that I've added it all in. It's turning a very strange color. Off-putting kind of color and consistency, but I'm sure it tastes better than it looks. Alright. There's that. Let's see. Yeah, the Red Hot actually helps. And putting the mashed potatoes in is good too. It makes the beef pot roast not as dry. Not the most appetizing looking meal in the world, but still tastes pretty good. Alright, let me try some of this lemon lime sports drink. Just looks like really watered down Gatorade. And that's what it tastes like too. Watered down Gatorade, but in a good way. So not bad. Let's get some of this peanut butter out. Try that on the bread. I think I'll use the busted piece. Probably should have spread that a little better, but that's okay. Alright, the Pain hamburger bun and some peanut butter. That bread is dry. It's not stale. It doesn't taste like it's bad. It's just drier than I expected. I think this bread would be better with some jelly than it is with some peanut butter, but oh well. The only other things left to try are the applesauce and this Kit Kat Chunky. The applesauce made me a little nervous with how watery it seemed, but I think it was just because it wasn't mixed up well enough in the package after sitting for 8 years. After I mixed up the package a little bit and put it in this jar, or sorry, in this cup. Let's see now, it's just plain applesauce. It's not like the Zapplesauce, apple cinnamon, or anything that I could tell, but let's see how it is. Whoop. And I think I might have just spilled some applesauce into my beef pot roast, I can't tell, or I made it on the plate. Either way, the applesauce is good. Tastes like applesauce. Nothing too crazy to report there. I don't think I've ever had a Kit Kat Chunky. They don't really sell, at least I don't think they sell Kit Kat Chunkies in the United States, at least not down here in Texas. I could be wrong. At least not that I remember seeing any time recently. But let's open that up and see how it looks. And there's some definite bloomage. This is the first time I'm seeing that this ration is 8 years old. Come on, get out of there. Yeah, this is a little bit bloomed, as you can tell. It smells okay. You can definitely tell it's bloomed from the smell, let alone the look. But let's see. I'm trying to break it without it going everywhere. Okay. Inside of a 8-year-old Kit Kat Chunky. And let's give it a try. Okay. It's not horrible. You can taste the bloomage, but I don't think I'm going to get sick off it or anything. It's just very obviously bloomed. I've seen chocolate much more bloomed than this, and that tasted okay. This tastes fine too. Just, you can tell it's 8 years old. So yeah, overall, pretty good menu. I'm impressed with how well it held up after 8 years. The other menu I got that was also 8 years old, I'm a little more nervous to try because it's salmon. Hopefully it's salmon like a tuna pouch type salmon, which those are designed to last forever. But we'll see when we get to that meal. For now, I'm going to finish this meal up. If you liked it, please give the video a like, a comment, a share, or a subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one night.